What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the God Strike Report. We're here in the lovely Gamers R Us in preparation for the World Martial Arts Tournament sponsored by Dale and Mac. We're here with one of the store owners, actually, Arick Canny.
Nice to meet you.
He's the second owner. There's only two. It's Seth and Arick, because Arick doesn't post a whole lot in the community. He mainly runs the facilities of the store. So he's definitely one of the owners, but he actually played today, and he brought Raditz. You all know I'm a big fan of hand destruction. Everyone's yelling about Tau being need to come back. It doesn't. Nope. It can stay away.
Yep.
I hate that card. Anyways, just gonna go straight into the deck profile. Played red-green Raditz. I personally played against it after the tournament. It was a lot of fun. I managed to win, but it's actually way more destructive than you think. Like playing Surge Q, you discard a card all the time, and then like having to warp one on his turns. And then the deck's actually kind of overwhelming hand destruction wise. It's just extremely proficient, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent, I guess, like, or just, it keeps stacking on. Like, every turn you're going to discard. But let's go ahead and get into the profile, get us through.
Okay, so first off, I played Raditz, one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball.
I forgot you had to explain the leader, because now no one knows what it does.
Yep. Played Raditz, one of my favorite leaders, one of my favorite characters in the show. On the front side, auto, when he attacks a leader, you warp a card from your hand, your opponent chooses which card, and they warp one. Then activate main. This card, this ability is actually one of the most clutch abilities right now, just because of the cards that are in the game at the moment. Once per turn, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you find a Raditz, Nappa, or Vegeta card, and then you put it into hand, shuffle your deck, and then place a card from your hand into the drop. This allows for a lot of abuse, and we're right now with just the cards that you'll see here in a minute, you'll understand why it's so good.
All right.
So first, the extra cards. Ooh. I run 3 remote serious bombs. Cards are just too good right now. Your opponent has to choose one of their cards and send it to the warp. It does not ignore barrier like a lot of people think it does. They still get to use barrier, but with it being able to punish, it's just key, especially with other cards that Raditz runs for the warp. I would change it to 4 if I have to change anything. I run 2 artificial impacts.
Love this card.
Absolutely love this card. The ability to ignore barrier, KO a card, and then choose a card from their hand. You get to choose the card, which is very, very key, and send it to the drop. It's just mad hand destruction. Really good, great against a lot of matchups right now. And then, of course, the best extra card, in my opinion, that came out of this new set. Sells Earth Destroying Kamehameha. Give a leader or battle card 15k power, and then discard a card from your opponent's hand. It's insane. And then being able to abuse it is...
RNG is pretty crazy in this game.
Absolutely.
Just, man, I'm sitting pretty. If he doesn't rip this card... Oh, he ripped that card.
Now, regrettably, I love this card and hate this card at the same time, just because I feel like it's so nagging the meta at the moment. Shocking Death Ball. It's the best green negate available. I really can't say much about it. I really wish Bandai would come up with something else.
Are you going to try the new one? I don't know if you saw it for Dropbox, called Pretty Black Hole.
Yes, I am going to be trying Pretty Black Hole. That card actually looks pretty insane. Moving on from the extra cards, we then, of course, have the best abuse card. 4 extra cards. We run 3 Roshi. If you guys don't know what this card does, you activate main, pitch it when you search your deck, put it in the drop, and then tap 1, send it to the warp, recur an extra card from your drop area back to your hand.
So a green extra card back.
Yep, which usually with that, you want to choose...
Sells Kamehameha or Artificial.
Sells Kamehameha, Artificial.
And then if you need to, you can do Shocking Death Ball. But
yep, but most cases you won't need to.
So I'll just rip that cell back.
Yep. And then one of the other things that I love about Raditz right now, he just got a negate that's searchable. Blast Barrage Vegeta.
So you just saw a bunch of extra cards, so...
Yep. I run 4 of them. You run enough extra cards in the deck, that way you can actually use him as a negate, plus he's searchable off your leader, which just makes him hard plus. At 4, I did feel like I saw him a little too often. I probably would be changing him to 3.
Maybe change the 1 for the remote series.
Yep. And then the super combo, which is also searchable, which is another thing that makes Raditz so good. 4 Nappas. Just went 4. A lot of people try and tell me that I should do the 2 Paragus. I honestly felt like with as much as I was able to draw in this deck, which you'll see later how that abuse comes in, that this was just the best choice. He comes on, he's aggro for board, or you just leave him open and you get another free 10k combo.
Yeah,
it's gross.
Kind of makes up for also not having the huge chain at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Being able to just combat multiple attacks with 1 card.
I'm only running 2 of this right now. I really think I want to run a 3rd. This card is so good.
Who doesn't run this card?
Absolutely.
I think everyone knows what this card does by now.
We all know what this card does. This card is just too good. Activate main, 2, send it to the warp, draw 2 cards. Too good. And then Another pseudo super combo. I don't know what you'd call it.
Any red-green deck just runs Chi-Chi because a half super.
Half super, you get half the value when you draw a card. Keeps your hand size open. It's just a wonderful card. You're almost always going to have 2 red-green cards in your energy, so it's always plus. Then another searchable card that is just absolutely abusable. For Vegeta the Cruel, there were several times today where I actually played him and wasn't even able to pop something, but I was still able to send an opponent's card from their hand to their warp, forcing them to choose again. It's just consistent hand destruction. You're sending it to the warp. Your opponent feels bad. It's just really good right now. And then running one of, just because I love this card, one of my favorite cards, Raditz Saiyan Assailant. Comes into play, you choose 2 of your opponent's cards, 3 or less, KO them. If you KO, however many cards you KO'd, your opponent warps that many cards from hand. I only played it once today. It did feel really good when I did it, because it's 2 cards they had to warp from their hand, then I Awoken, had 25k beater on board. It was nice. I probably will end up taking it out, but it's favoritism for me. A lot of people don't think I should be running this in the deck. A lot of people say that it's bad, but in my opinion, if you manage your drop area better, it's just, again, consistent hand destruction, and it bumps up your leader to a 20k on the backside, 15 on the front. It's free abuse. It's wonderful. And then, of course, need some check lands when you're running any multicolored deck. 3 Brawlies.
And discards a card.
Absolutely.
Another searchable card.
And another card that's actually pretty good. I played it twice today.
The one deck where it's actually viable to be played.
Yeah, 100%. Tap 4, when you play it, you look at your opponent's hand, you find a card that's 35 power or less, battle card, and then send it to the warp. And then it gets critical for turn. It's insane. If you're Awoken on the backside, so you play it unawoken, awaken, untap 1, give them a 5k bump, 25 critical after you rip the card from your opponent's hand. Plus you get knowledge. Knowledge is always good. The best card in this deck that makes it playable, and my favorite card, Raditz, Ruthless Adversary. 1 drop, when you play him, you get to choose 1 of 2 effects. Second effect's really not that good, but it still came in clutch at one point in time today to kill a Gohan that was beating me up. Choose 1 card in your life, and KO a 1-drop. Second effect is where this gets really nutty. You get to draw a card for every 2 cards your opponent has in the warp that is not black. And with the way the meta is right now, yes, Boo is prevalent, but there are so many decks that are not running that many black cards. And this just, several times today, I was able to draw 4, draw 5, draw 3 for 1. The card's insane. I love Bandai for printing this card. It made Raditz playable. And then, of course, a rival piece and one of the boss monsters for victory. Arrival, KO 4-drop or less, double strike. He's great because he's Saiyan, red or green. You get to activate Raditz's Awaken Leader ability, which is to give him 5k, so he's 25, and you just beat face with him. And then I only run 1 because I don't very consistently see 20 cards in the drop. Yeah. But if I do, if I'm playing against the right matchup, especially like against a cooler right now that just mills cards off the top of the deck, comes in very clutch, rip their hand. You want to stay at 5 life on Raditz. A lot of people were asking me why I wasn't awakening. Main reason is because you just want to keep abusing the front side. And this card just makes it so much better. Plus, swinging into your opponent with 10k when they're awoken at 15 just nets you, they warp 1. You don't even have to deal damage.
Yep.
And then, of course, Big Boss Monster, Secret Rare, Super Saiyan 3 Scramble. Card's just really good in my opinion. So many people drop down to 3 or 1 or 3 or 2 life right now, and it comes out, just kills them.
Yep. Why not? Just win the game.
Yep.
But, so we were talking about earlier, you might be taking this to the World Martial Arts Tournament.
I am very, very highly considering it. It's, in my opinion, it's very anti-meta.
So, no, I love it. I always love a good hand destruction deck or just anti-meta deck. But any shout-outs you want to give?
Absolutely. I want to give a shout-out to Devin Butterworth for making me fond of hand destruction in this game.
That's me.
Yep, absolutely. I'd also like to give a shout-out to all the people who put up with me trying to play this deck since set 7. It's been pretty awful, but I'm very happy that it's at where it's at now. Shout out to John Alonzo for this fire mat. Absolutely love it. Trifinity, can't go wrong. And shout out to Ben for being my first victim today.
Damn. on, dude. But all right, y'all. Also, Gamers RS, you might own that place if you want to give a shout out to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll always give a shout out to them. They have two of the hardest working bosses I've ever seen before. Yeah, and
No one's ever called me a boss before. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. One of them is absolutely beautiful. And beyond that,
I am pretty hot.
Always a shout out to my wife and my daughters for putting up with me playing this damn game.
Okay, but that's gonna be it. Make sure you guys come out here on the 28th, 29th.
Yeah, 28th, 29th.
The War Martial Arts Tournament brought to you by the Dalen Mac and Gamers R Us.
That Friday, we're also going to be doing draft box tournaments. We're going to be firing them all day as long as we can. So don't miss out.
Bet. All right, guys. It's been another episode of the Godstrike Report. Appreciate you for tuning in. See you next time.